Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where things are awkward now. We're a member of the Allies, and we're planning to betray the Allies at some point in the future, but we're hoping to get a bunch of resources from the Soviet Union first along the way. Now, we did just take this territory from the Soviet Union, and we don't really have any plans over here right now. I'm thinking, what if we used this army to do, well, naval invasions only work if you have the naval supremacy. You have to have ships here, right? I was just thinking that we could do a naval invasion at this naval base. That said, is this a crossing? I think not in this game. So, like, hypothetically, we have access through here because we're a member of the Allies now, right? But hypothetically, if we were to try to set up, like, some sort of a front line over here, yeah, this isn't going to work because this is not a crossing in Hearts of Iron. Fair enough. Fair enough. That said, we absolutely could frontline over here and help this push with this army. I'd like to eliminate Republican Spain, so the idea here would then be that we do an offensive line all the way down to Gibraltar, like this. That would be the idea. We can go ahead and start that execution, and these guys will slowly make their way over there. These guys, I want them to begin working on a naval invasion from here all the way up to here. Now, there are no naval bases along this coast except for up here, I suppose, which doesn't really count. Yeah, no... Well, there is a naval base here in Vladivostok. We could come here instead. This is more likely to be defended. But if we could get that... We are at war with Japan. That's something we need to consider here. We're now at war with Japan since we joined the Allies. I do want our primary opponent here to be the Soviet Union. Maybe we should invade up here. Just have it be like this. If the US happens to invade over here, fine. I think these units are not actually doing a naval invasion. I think they are landing at an allied location to reinforce it, is my guess. Japan is busy over here. The Soviets are mostly busy over here. So that's definitely something to consider. But I think that's our overall plan for right now. So we're going to get that underway. The United States is still calling people in. Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. We have some low supplies. This isn't shocking over here. Now, we don't currently have anyone defending this, so I'm actually going to set these guys into the Coast Guard, and I'm going to have them come over here and area defense all of this. Minimum divisions, 15. Okay. Yeah, this area does have to be defended because there's coast there. And they're not going to drill anymore. They can stop that. Okay. So over they come. And we should be able to hold this, in theory. And keep that well and truly occupied. So we are on our way back from over here. Now, we do have some air bases over here. And that is very, very useful for us. We're going to utilize... What airbase did we have this in previously? These guys, they are going to move up to this airbase in Casablanca. So up they go. The Republic of Austria has capitulated. Okay, I mean, this is going on, for sure. We knew this was going to be the case. The Soviet Union is currently going ham on Europe. This is great for us. How are they doing on their manpower anyway? They're actually lower than we are on their manpower. Now, they have deployed a lot more than we do, I think. Actually, they've deployed almost the same number of troops that we have, but most of our troops are in our Coast Guard. We need to keep that in mind. The Allies are getting pushed back here. However, our reinforcements are beginning to arrive now. And that's good. Hopefully we'll be able to help hold that. How is the logistics flow over here? It looks okay. So that is good to note. Absolutely fantastic. The Catalonian Free Republic has capitulated. This isn't shocking. I mean, once the American troops get to this line, it should be kind of game over for Spain, I feel like. The major issue here is that France doesn't have a whole lot here, right? So that's definitely something to be considering. And these guys are on their way up. The Allies are now taking control of the naval situation over here. And these guys are on their way over, very slowly, but on their way nonetheless. Fantastic. So at this point, US, I want more steel from you. UK, I want all your steel. Anybody else that we can get steel from? Not really. We do want some aluminum from France. And some chromium from Turkey, of course, as well as a little bit from Yugoslavia, I guess. There we go. We'll get that going. And this war is heating right on back up. And that's fantastic. We are very happy about that. Our infrastructure is finishing up here. Now, we should work on our infrastructure over here. And that kind of becomes a priority. Not the top priority, but a priority. Repairs kind of are the top priority. I guess building these right now is fine. And also upgrading this naval base here is very important to us for that flow. Excellent. So we'll get that going. And what else do we want to do? We want to have one of these. Probably this one. I don't think we need diplomatic pressure on the US anymore for right now. We're going to come up here and start rooting out resistance in Casablanca. Excellent. How are things going up here? I'm going to go with mediocre. West Germany has capitulated. This isn't surprising, right? This isn't surprising at all. And even if we lose all of this over here, that's not the end of the world. How is this army doing with getting over here? It's kind of slow. We're working our way to the front lines, and supplies are flowing in nicely, so that's good. How about these guys? Where are they at? They're on their way back. Perfect. Industrial land appropriation isn't all that useful. Ah, plus 30% war support because we're in a defensive war technically now. Yes, that would be true. And we do have an air wing here with no missions assigned, apparently, and I think that we're just going to disband this air wing. Disband it. Yes. We can have up to 300 additional, or 300 total here. So we're going to have these jets doing, yes, do that. Doing air superiority over the Western Mediterranean. And these guys will be doing naval bombing over the Western Mediterranean. That's still very important to us. Okay, so our troops are arriving at this front. That is wonderful. I am noticing that it looks like at some point our front line here, or rather our offensive line, was invalidated. So we're going to do that. Excellent. Game is getting a little laggy with the number of units involved in this, but to be expected. To be expected. Look at that insanity. Absolute bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So these guys are slowly on their way over still. That's fine. These guys are still also making their way up here. Supplies are flowing, and we are slowly reinforcing this line. However, we are getting pushed back a little bit, and I feel like that's mostly the fault of the French, but who knows. Yeah, there's a number of Soviet divisions here now. This is actually a very major offensive here. So we're mostly just going to try to help hold this line. We want to exhaust the Soviets, but we don't necessarily want to exhaust ourselves on the Soviets. If that makes any sense at all. And there's tons of American divisions on the way over. So that's great. As well as, who are these guys? Mexican? Yeah, these are Mexican divisions as well. And some Canadian divisions. So there's lots of reinforcements on the way. The Allies were caught, I think, a little bit off guard by this. That's fine. I'm actually going to bring it down to speed 3 because it seems to be kind of struggling with the simulation at speed 4. So there's that. We are still working on some of this over here. That's wonderful. And how are we doing on our tanks? Mediocre is the answer. That's not shocking. Hey, US, do you want to export us any more steel? No, they don't. Okay. We're not shocked by this either. However, it looks like our Coast Guard is now arriving over here. They should be more than capable of holding this territory. So that's great. And our infrastructure construction and our naval bases are underway. Fantastic. So we'll garrison this location here. And it looks like we may have this front under control now. Maybe. I mean, this unit is not full strength, right? But these guys got encircled and overrun. That's not great. But that does shorten the front a little bit, and we do have units still making their way to the front. So that's fine. But man, do they ever have a lot of units here. We definitely require reinforcements. We are not capable of holding this line. And the French are, I think, not capable of holding this line either. If we have to, we'll pull out. But honestly, this is showing that the balance of power is roughly equal right now. So maybe that's okay. I do want this guy to be cautious here. Definitely be cautious right now. Okay. So we'll continue doing that for now. How are these guys doing? We have an ace pilot getting promoted. These guys are approaching the Caribbean. And how is our naval supremacy doing over here? Actually, that's pretty good. Technically, we don't need the supremacy in the North Emperor chain. We could move these guys up to the Bering Sea. Like that. Since we're going to attack in the north up here. I like it. We're going to need to fortify, and we're going to need... Yeah, that's full naval supremacy there. We're going to need to fortify, and we're going to need to build logistics flows over here, for sure. That's going to be incredibly important for us. Republic of Croatia has capitulated. These guys are still on their way in. A lot of them are still pretty far out in the ocean, so it'll be a little while before we're ready to launch that yet. Okay, so... these numbers are fluctuating wildly. That's okay. We only have 16 divisions here right now. We're just helping out here. And hoping that the other allies get some troops over here. What's going on with Japan? Are these guys part of the prosperity sphere? Yes, they are. Okay. Just checking. Soviet Union is attacking the Allies over here as well. Is the Soviet Union at war with Japan? I believe they are separate wars. They are separate wars. Okay. That's fine. That is completely okay. So our troops have now basically fully arrived over here. And we're doing our best to hold them off. I mean, we have pretty solid armies here, but... or rather, pretty solid regiments here. But there's only so much that we can do with our numbers, right? only so much. We don't actually care too much about Europe at this time. The Soviet Union is doing what we want them to do. So that is fantastic. The United States wants to lend-lease us some tanks. We accept. This modern tank brigade is unassigned and will, of course, go up into this army, helping out in the European theater. Looks like there's some good attacking going on over here. Soviet Union is continuing to break through over here in the French lines. I mean, we're doing what we can, right? And we don't really care about what happens over here, but I think the Allies won't let France fall here. I'm pretty sure they won't. We'll find out. It'll be interesting for sure. You can see by the amount of divisions that are moving around, though, that the Allies were not anticipating that the Soviets would attack well, not just France, but all of the Allies. I'm actually going to add 2 extra divisions of infantry in recruitment right now. We'll ramp up our recruitment a little bit. This is like the cheekiest thing that I can think of, is invading from over here. But honestly, with the amount of pressure that's over here right now, I feel like it's a solid move. Like, we have naval supremacy up here. We see no enemies. None. We have full naval supremacy in this area. Complete and total. This is a modern tank brigade. It goes here. Excellent. That will be fine. And infantry, I'm actually going to add 2 additional units of infantry. No, I'm not. I changed my mind. That's not actually necessary. Okay, how are we doing over here? It looks like we may have stopped their advance. That's fantastic. Now, I'm unclear why this front line actually stops here. Like, I would like it to go up here as well. Is this... Okay, that's currently France. And then this is Republican Spain over here. Okay, awkward. I do definitely want to grab Night Vision 2 here for that sweet, sweet land night attack. That'll be pretty important for us. Yeah, we're definitely starting to push them back over here. That's great. Now, we're not really contributing to this all that much right now, and we mostly only put these guys here as a stopgap. We will be sending them over to the Siberian front fairly soon, after that front really opens up. So that'll be fine. We do still have additional units here making their way over to the start point. We do still have a fair number of days here, so that's completely okay as well. Luckily, the United States is a lot more happy with us at this point because we are in their faction. For now. For now. Yeah, the Soviet bulge here has definitely stalled out. We're starting to push in some of these regions over here. That's great. We're now showing that we are stronger. And that is absolutely wonderful. This is a big vulnerability here for the Soviet Union. If the Allies can manage to push from Yugoslavia's allies, right? Yes, Yugoslavia's allies. If the Allies manage to push like this and link up with Poland, this whole section is cut off. That would be huge. We're not prepared to make that move. We're focused over here right now. We do have 2 divisions. They go into this Coast Guard division. Or rather, this Coast Guard unit. Remember, we need 15 units over here. We currently have 13. So we need 2 more units over here. We're going to keep recruiting at 4 divisions for right now. Actually, should we? I think we'll go down to 2 now. I just wanted to get these trained up like 10% or so. I think that's good enough. So we are continuing to attack a little bit over here. I wish I knew how much war contribution we were doing along this front. Like, only along this front. That would be interesting, right? Well, we can see here that we have participated, we've contributed about 17% of the war effort. That's more than the Soviet Union has contributed on their war effort. So that's interesting. That is definitely interesting. Well, we're pushing in over here, and that seems to have definitely come to a halt. So that is absolutely wonderful. These guys will be arriving at their location here in a moment. The US just canceled their tank lend-lease. Sure, I don't care. It was like 9 tanks a month. Big deal. Big deal. We're going to start this when we can. We can't start it just yet. How's this naval supremacy looking? They have no idea that this is happening, I think. We did just capture a Soviet operative. We keep capturing their operatives, which is great. And we are going to go ahead and grab aerial mine laying. Wonderful. This is, I think, going fantastically. We're just trying to get primarily a seat at the negotiating table, and maybe some of this territory over here would be great for us to grab. But ideally, we're looking to grab this territory. Now, do we have the troops to actually run that? The answer is absolutely no. So that's going to be interesting. Like, we can't man this front line. We're going to have to be cautious with how much territory we actually take over here. But all we want to do is pull pressure from this front right now and get them walking all the way across the Soviet Union. That would be just absolutely magnificent. Hello. Are these guys... Didn't this used to be part of the Soviet Union? They're in the Comintern. Okay. So all of these over here is definitely something that we could also attack, but it looks like the Allies are on it. We kind of have our niche with attacking up here. The Allies aren't interested in doing this, and for good reason. For very good reason. But we will do it. I don't know if you know this, but Brazilian soldiers are just uniquely suited for fighting in Siberia. It's true. And I don't know why. I don't have an excuse for that. I really, really don't. So our trade convoys are not being raided as much now that the Allies are protecting our trade. Man, that's a lot going on. This is definitely World War III that we've got going on here like 10 years later. And it's wonderful and glorious. We do still have some naval bases to build in Casablanca. That's fine. We're working our way through all this infrastructure as well. Very speedily indeed. Can we? Nope, we cannot. Never mind. Ignore me. How are we doing on our tanks? Poorly. That's not a shock. That is deeply unsurprising. But this front is going quite well now. So that is great. We're very, very happy about that. We're just going to continue pushing on in over here. Attacking cautiously. And blowing up as few of our own tanks as possible. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. How are we doing on our naval experience? It's a little bit on the low side right now. But I mean, look at this. Is this not beautiful? It's absolutely glorious. How long until we're able to launch this? 14 days. Okay. Just 2 weeks until we're able to launch our invasion of the Soviet Union. Italy, once again, finding itself on the wrong side of a world war. Well, maybe it'll be able to do something this time, but I honestly kind of doubt it. Yeah, there's definitely that Comintern presence in Africa, but it is currently shrinking. With a lot of allied forces funneling in. Okay. Sounds good. So we're going to need to hold this up here for quite a while we construct our logistics. That's going to be very, very important. We have no real way to get logistics up here. See, that's not connected. There's no crossing there. So that's good to know. It is, however, time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to launch our invasion of the Soviet Union. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And I'll see you all next time when we realize that the Soviet Union has no manpower. None. Fantastic.